Story 1.
My parents will divorce if I don't break up with my 21 male girlfriend, 19 female. I have a girlfriend at college, and my parents don't approve of our relationship at all. Last few weeks they've been furious about it and threatening to divorce. They told me not to date until I get my bachelor's, which is at least 1 semester from now, and to date only Asian, preferably Chinese American, girls. I'm Asian, and she's white. We didn't even do anything inappropriate, we're just close friends, often hang out together on campus, and we're in a swing dance club. I didn't even tell my parents about my relationship. How did they find out? My sister also goes to the same college as me, and she always saw me walking around holding hands and eating in the cafeteria with the same girl. Instead of asking me about it, she told my parents. She took pictures of us from afar and used it as evidence against me. When I told my parents that both my girlfriend and I are legal adults, and that her parents approve of the relationship, they said, "You'll always be a child in our eyes, and her parents don't influence us." They're primarily mad because I kept my relationship a secret for so long, and the secondary reason is that I'm breaking their expectations about dating. My grades are fine, I have a 3.83 GPA and got a summer internship, and I've never gotten in trouble at school. What's worse is that my sister was allowed to date as early as her freshman year in high school. She even invited her boyfriends home and slept in the same bed as them and went on vacations with their families. She's had like 3 boyfriends already, as she gets into dating drama frequently. When I, 3 years older than her, asked my parents if I could date, they said no, because they don't want me getting in trouble. She did mediocre in high school and barely squeaked out a 3.0 in her first semester in college. When I told my parents that I love my girlfriend and I'm not breaking up with her, they said that they will divorce each other if I don't break up with her ASAP. They were forcing me to pull out my phone and text her, saying that I want to break up. I refused, arguing that they let my irresponsible, academically struggling younger sister date, but not me. My parents said that I value white trash over family, and that they spent 21 years raising a failure. I'm not a failure, my sister is. My dad hit me several times, giving me a black eye, while my mom lied on the floor crying, saying that she wishes she aborted me. Then he argued with my mom and screamed at each other. Meanwhile, I grabbed my backpack with my stuff in it and drove off to my girlfriend's house about 90 minutes away. My parents fortunately don't know where she lives. When he noticed my car was missing, he called me, but I didn't pick it up. Then he texted me asking where I was and said that he would come get me. I told my girlfriend's family what happened, and they offered to let me stay with them until we went back to campus. My mom later texted me to inform me that my parents have filed a missing person report against me. I texted back, saying that I'm at my girlfriend's place, and that they can't stop me. I got my girlfriend's dad to call my parents, and he told them to F off, and that if they keep treating me like this, they will take legal action themselves. I know it's only because she and I are very committed to our relationship, and her parents are supportive of it.
My opinion. I think your parents have much deeper issues in their relationships than your relationship with your girl. Their actions can be explained though, as they had high hopes for you and not so high for your sister. You might think they're treating you unequally, but hey, that's what some parents doing. Take care of yourself and your girlfriend, and try not to involve your girlfriend's parents in this. Story 2.
I, 22 male, have 3 other siblings, 18 male, 15 male, 12 female. Our parents are no longer together because of my mom's, 42 female, infidelity. She was seeing my best friend's dad. When my father found out, he kicked her out. She ended moving with her AP and broke 2 marriages. This all happened 6 years ago, and my siblings saw my dad as the bad guy who kicked their mother out. My 15 male and 12 female decided to live with my mom, and dad only had them on weekends. My 18 male stayed with us because he was closer to my dad already, but he didn't know what caused our family to fall apart and also seemed to resent my dad. I visited my mom as often as I could, and she seemed happy to have me, but I was the only one who knew what happened. My dad never bad-talked my mother and never let my siblings know why they split up, even if he had to be seen as the bad guy who kicked her out, and my mom never took any responsibility of what she did to our family. They get along with Jeff, mom's husband. I did, but lost a lot of respect for him when he went after my mom. My dad will get married to Rose this October 21st, my late grandma's birthday, and he told my siblings that he wished to have them with him. They started being so mean to him and basically shaming for getting married and accuse him of cheating because he started dating Rose a long ago. They really hate Rose, cause she came into our lives like 6 months after my mom was kicked out. So I asked them to stop. My dad isn't confrontational, so he told me to leave it like that. They started accusing Rose of being the reason my parents fell apart, but I told them that the reason was my mom's infidelity. Their faces turned red and asked me if I was joking, but I said no. They got back to my mom's house and 2 days later they were back asking to stay with my dad full-time. Apparently they confronted her and her husband about what happened. I called my mom to see if everything is okay, but she didn't answer. I went to her house, and she was distant. We didn't talk much about it. Her husband texted me later to call me tough for telling my siblings about my mom's affair, and they seem to hate her now. I know, it's hard for my mom now because she loves us, but my dad shouldn't be seen as an evil person and she is the great flawless parents, plus Rose shouldn't be seen as a homewrecker when my mom is. Am I the asshole for letting them know?
My opinion. I don't think you are. Your mother and her AP ruined the marriage with your father. I'm sure they know what other kids think about your dad, but they didn't say anything to stop it and tell them the truth. Probably your dad didn't want other kids to think badly about their own mother, but it is his position. Your position might be different, and you were in your right to tell your thoughts. Your mom and her new husband are wrong in this situation, so your hands are free to do what you did. Story 3.
Okay, first off, my parents have been divorced for 12 plus years. I am 21 now and was 7 or 8 when they split. I found out a few years ago it was because my mom was cheating on my dad with my nurse from the NICU from 1997, oof. Casually talking to my mom, who has since remarried for the 3rd time, I asked about their divorce out of curiosity. She went into a few details and brought up a car ride with my dad. She wouldn't elaborate, so I called my dad. Big mistake. Mind you, Dad took me and my sister in when my mom left and raised us. It kind of went like this. Me, so I was talking to Mom about your divorce, and she brought up a ride in the car with you that initiated the divorce. Dad. Hesitantly. Yeah, you, me and your sister were in the car when I came back from overseas, and we were talking about what you guys wanted to be when you grew up. Your sister said something, and you said, I want to be a nurse like Ben. I pulled over to the side of the road and you spilled the beans. Apparently, at 7 or 8, I informed my dad about a guy staying in our house in his room sleeping in their bed while he was gone for months for military stuff. I told him everything. How Mom told us he was an old friend, who needed help, and who would be staying with us to protect us while Daddy is gone. How he watched us for a week while Mom disappeared, took us to movies, dinner, etc. There was a point of him asking if I would move to California with him and my mom. They got married 2 weeks after my parents' divorce was finalized and moved to California. I never remembered this occurrence. He said he went home, pulled phone records, emails and even the chat messenger history. This is like 2004 or 2005 IDK. I'm not blaming myself, but man. Little me saved my dad's ass from being used any longer by her. This is a screw up because I was apparently never supposed to know, hence my mom not wanting to talk about it and my dad being hesitant on telling me. Edit 2. Super screw up. I'm learning more and more about their marriage I never needed to know from other family. I was the save the marriage baby. Edit 3. Wow. I didn't realize how many other people have gone through finding out this kind of stuff later in life. Kudos to all of you for learning from the example. Edit 4. Holy moly. I've learned a lot from all of you. This blew up and I've made a few decisions. I am never getting married. I think it's time to cut off my mom. Don't ask questions about your parents' failed marriage. Edit 5. Apparently, after the divorce, she wrote my grandmother a letter stating she didn't want to take care of children and wanted to live her life. Also, I didn't remember this occurrence because I guess it didn't really stick out to me. My dad said he acted calm and acknowledged everything, like a normal convo. The events after I remember oh so vividly. Moral of this story. Don't think your kids won't talk if you're cheating and do not bring them around your kids. Actually, just don't cheat. Easier said than done, but damn. Also, please note, I didn't have to throw any paper for my mom to be a hoe. Final edit. Thanks to everyone for sharing their stories similar to mine and acknowledging that, for the children, divorce was never their fault. These conversations have really got me thinking about how toxic for me it is to talk to my mom. I'll update in a bit. Thanks guys, and keep your head up if you screw up.
Update.
After careful consideration, numerous conversations with fellow Redditors and talking with my sister, I have decided to end communication with my mom. It's just not in my own best interest to keep in contact with her. Besides the divorce and infidelity, there were years of mental and physical abuse both me and my sister endured due to the new dynamics that came as a result of the divorce, and my sister became my mother figure, which put a lot of stress on both of us as well. It has been a little over 5 years since I left my mom's house. I stayed with her my last 2 years of high school, and I have a child of my own now. I kept in contact with my mom solely out of pity because she has burned so many bridges, and I thought that seeing her grandson might help things. I wanted everything that happened to be water under the bridge. I reconnected in May of 2016 when my nana passed a few months after I had my son. I hoped she would change. She hasn't. I haven't been close with her, but I do talk to her every so often. Now knowing she did the same thing to my dad, much worse than me if we are being honest, and to my older sister, I don't think it is in me or my son's best interest to have any further communication. I had an epiphany thanks to all of you. She was the example I needed in my life of who I don't want to be, and my dad is the example of who I want to be. I'm a single mom with an awesome little boy who's now 3. His dad abused me, beat me up twice, and was sent to jail for it, twice. With my dad's help, I was able to get away. He smelled his bullshit from a mile away, but I continued to hang on because, as with my mom, I hoped he would change. Instead, I left and drove across the country, never once looking back. My dad let me and my son live with him until we got our own place. Best dad ever. Goodbye, Mom. Thanks for giving me life, but you have proven you don't deserve to be in it anymore. I will forever be a daddy's girl. Edit. It's been suggested by many, and I might write a book edit too. Much love for everyone that has been or are currently going through this sort of thing. You can either learn from the example or become the example. Edit 3. I wanted to note that women are not the only ones who are subjected to domestic violence. My dad dealt with it with my mom. Don't be afraid to speak up. Edit 4. I took off the favorite picture of me and my dad. Ya nasties. Edit 5. I have been getting a lot of messages about this update. Feel free to message me if you need support about something similar or have any input.
My opinion. Well, I don't think that was your fault. It's all on your mother. I mean, how arrogant was she bringing her AP to the house with kids thinking they won't talk about it? It's just ridiculous. If you cheat, do it silently. But well, obviously, better don't cheat at all. That was a crazy and absolutely stupid move from her, and you cannot blame anyone but her only for the ruined marriage. And yes, your dad is an absolute hero for all he'd done for you. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe on my channel.